This week's Parshas is Parshas Behaaloscha3. In Parshas Behaaloscha3, the Jews complain about the mun. Or I should say, some of the Jews complain about the mun. They say, Nafsheni Yuvesha, our souls have become dried out from only eating this mun. The mun, of course, is the food that fell down from the heavens as the Jews traveled through the desert. And the Torah tells us that actually the mun was amazing. It was delicious and it was healthy. You know, we always assume if something is delicious, then it's not healthy. If it's healthy, then it's not delicious. But the mun was the best of both worlds. It was delicious. It tasted like anything you wanted it to taste like. And it was healthy to the point that the Jews in the desert who ate the mun did not have to use the bathroom because everything in there is beneficial for the human body. So the body just consumed it and used all of the nutrients. It used everything that was in there. There was nothing left over to be needed to go to the bathroom for. So why were these people complaining? Why were these people complaining? What was wrong about the mun? Where was the basis for their complaint? So from their actual words, you see the basis of their complaint. They say, Nafshenu Yuvesha, our souls have become dried out from the mun. Why are they talking about their souls if their complaint is about a physical pleasure they have from something they consume? They're talking about eating. That's a physical pursuit. That's a physical action, a physical pleasure. And they're talking about their souls. What's the connection between the spiritual part, the soul, and this physical benefit that we usually get when we have a hamburger, as opposed to the mun? Sarna says that in order for a person to enjoy his food, to like his food, even if it is delicious, that he has to be at peace. He has to feel calm. If a person doesn't feel calm, then he's not going to enjoy his food. Hence, cocktails before supper. People feel calm, the food tastes better because they themselves are at peace. And it's for this reason that the complainers say our souls are dried out from the mun, because their complaint was not about whether or not intrinsically the food was tasty. In reality, their problem was, whether they knew it or not, was that they themselves did not feel at peace in the desert. They didn't feel at peace with being reliant on God entirely for their sustenance, to have to rely every morning whether or not the mun's going to fall from the sky and they're going to have a way to feed their families. And that's what they were struggling with. Question on this week's Parsha. In this week's Parsha, we learn that the labor is prohibited on Shabbos. We derive from what they did in the tabernacle in the desert. One of the things that is prohibited on Shabbos is destruction. You're not allowed to destroy things. Now, there is a problem with that is that destructive action, be doing things that are negative and not creative, are not prohibited on Shabbos. A malacha, the word labor in Hebrew, means that you're accomplishing something. You're doing an act of creation. Despite that, though, we see that if something dismantles something, he can be obligated biblically for transgressing Shabbos. How do we resolve this? So there is dismantling, which is in order to build. That is the type of dismantling which is prohibited. Since the ends are creative, dismantling in order to build, therefore that's the type of dismantling, destruction that's prohibited. The Gemara talks about that what happens if a person is dismantling a house in order to reconstruct that house in a different place. Meaning, if we're talking about a case where you're dismantling it in order to rebuild it in its place, that's for sure a biblical prohibition. But let's say a person is dismantling it in order to put it in a new place. To that, Rabbi Yossi says that is not considered the labor of dismantling to be liable for a Shabbos prohibition. On that, the Gemara asks the following question. We learn from the tabernacle all the labors that are prohibited on Shabbos. Dismantling comes from the fact that they disassembled the tabernacle when they traveled from place to place. The Gemara asks the obvious question. The Gemara says, In the desert itself, they dismantled the tabernacle in order to put it somewhere else. And Rabbi Yossi is saying that that type of dismantling is not prohibited on Shabbos. To that, the Gemara gives a very cryptic answer and says that they were going with Hashem. And therefore, it's not considered as if they went from place to place. The question is, what is the answer of the Gemara? What does it mean? And how does it answer the seeming glaring question on Rabbi Yossi's opinion? Have a good Shabbos.